In this short video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways how to produce a really loud sound, starting from one way that I'm not actually recommending and finishing with one that I find absolutely fantastic. So when it comes to loud playing, of course we have different options, and option number 1 is to use our muscles. So just moving your fingers very fast and grasping those keys. But the fact is that it is absolutely unnecessary, and there are many ways how we can substitute this very expensive in terms of energy spending muscle effort with other ways to play. So for example, we might use just gravity. So for example, if I would approach a loud chord, a chord that I want to play in a especially loud manner, I would try to approach it vertically. So I would have this distance in order to play it loudly using the gravity. So for example, on the last note of the predecessing passage, I go straight up and then approach that chord from a significant difference, landing on my fingers, cushioning the shock with the wrist. In other words, I just prevent my hand of doing something like that. So I try just to hang on these fingers while my hand is falling down. And that's actually a quite useful skill to be able to play like that. But there's another one that is very special, and usually people associate it with whipping or lashing technique. So basically, you might actually not need all that distance. You don't have to fall from the big distance to the piano. You might reach the same amount of sound being very close to the key. So for example, if I would fall down, that would be a very massive, almost rude sound, yes, but I might get the same sound being very close to the key. So how to do that? So in order to understand this process deeply, let's exaggerate it very much, this motion, in order to minimize it then and make it efficient. So first imagine that the motion starts from your shoulder actually, and push your elbow to the side like that. As soon as you feel that your wrist starts following this elbow that goes quite high, go back with your elbow and allow your hand to rotate in the opposite direction. So this is that kind of movement. And very important, your hand and your wrist should be very released. They should be absolutely relaxed for that. And when you go back, you see there is a point when your wrist will be higher than the elbow. And this is the point where you use that kind of motion, landing on a very stable fingers. Now let's do it in a very exaggerated manner still, but more fluently, so it would look like one movement. And then you will minimize that motion to the extent when your elbow almost don't move, but you still feel that the impulse, the initial impulse, comes from the shoulder actually, not from the wrist or fingers. And this is exactly the way how you might play extremely loud, powerful chords being actually very close to the keys. What is very important, of course, releasing your fingers as soon as you have reached the bottom of the key, so you don't really hold those chords. You release your fingers immediately. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope that was useful, and see you next time.